Welcome everyone to my new and small channel. I appreciate the like and subscribe and comment to help me grow it out more. So let's get into the video. In this video, we're going to take a look at Odunze, what he does well, what he needs to improve, and what I think he may do as a rookie for the team that drafts him. In this first play here, Rome runs a quick out. As the play develops, the corner respects his size and speed and is backpedaling slightly, letting Odunze be open on the slant. However, what is great about this play is that when he catches it, he splits the two defenders trying to hit him and falls forward for an extra 4 or 5 yards. Just a really great way to get yards after the catch in a tight window. In this next play, we go over something that's really important to pay attention to because we see it a few times in this game. I'm not really sure if it's just simply a Washington offense thing, but this is a really important fourth down, and Penix isn't even looking at Odunze, who is jammed at the line, but gets past it pretty quickly and is open for the slant. But Penix doesn't see him because he's not really going through his progressions. When someone is the best wide receiver, you would expect him to be the first read, but we really don't see it here. I would be shocked if Penix isn't looking at the receiver he's supposed to and is doing what he's supposed to do in the offense, but instead of throwing a first down to an open Rome, he forces the ball to the other receiver and it's intercepted. Again, it's sort of hard to know where the blame lies here, but it's a little weird for him not to be the first person to look for in this type of really important down. But when he is the first read, we see good things happen. In this play, Odunze is at the bottom of the screen, and at the snap, we see Michigan in zone with a safety at the top, and he runs right past the corner, and the safety tries to get across, but Odunze is just way too fast. If this pass was delivered more accurately downfield in stride, it could have definitely been a long touchdown play. Odunze is really able to cover a lot of ground when he gets going, especially against zone. So here's another play with Odunze running downfield against zone, but here the defense changes up how they play it. So as the play starts and Odunze starts working downfield, the corner tries to jam him during his route to disrupt the timing, but he really quickly works around the player and is wide open downfield, but unfortunately the pass is inaccurate and it's incomplete. But it's a really good route against a defense here and shows how defenses will struggle to knock him off his spot without committing a penalty, similar to some of the plays we saw from Nabors in the breakdown I did on him. So here is a great play to look at in more detail because it highlights the route running differences between Odunze and Polk and why Odunze is considered a top 10 pick while Polk is probably going to be a late day 2 or day 3 selection. So here we have mirrored routes with Odunze and Polk both running quick out and ups. A perfect play call here against cover 2, which is what Michigan is in. So Odunze is at the top of the screen and Polk is at the bottom. Both receivers run this route, but look at the separation that Odunze gets while the defender is able to trail Polk the entire time. Now here, again, Odunze isn't the first read, which is a little weird, but he forces it to Polk, and luckily it's only incomplete and the ball is not intercepted. So let's break this down a little more slowly. Odunze here has much sharper cuts in his break than Polk does. The defender has to respect a quick out here, but because Polk cuts are like less sharp, the defender is able to sort of play both routes, sort of play back a little bit more to be able to defend the deep and the short routes. But when Polk works way upfield, he has that cushion on him, which doesn't happen with the corner defending Odunze. Again, it's a little odd that he isn't the first read here, since these types of routes are really where Odunze shines, but regardless, he wins the route, the throw is just going elsewhere. I do wonder if he was utilized better by Washington, that maybe his draft stock might be considered a little higher than it already is, and might be at least on par with Nabors as opposed to the sort of perceived 1, 2, and 3 with Harrison, Nabors, and Odunze. So we have seen Odunze time and time again get open running routes downfield. Some abilities to get open and sharp cuts, but how is he with stop routes? So let's look at this play. So here in this play, we have Odunze at the top of the screen against soft man coverage. He runs down the field and then turns on a dime, and the corner does break on Odunze, but if the pass is delivered with anticipation, something that we see time and time again in the NFL, he would have an easy completion. Here again, Penix just isn't really looking his way, even though he's wide open. Okay, so we have seen him run go routes, be good across the middle, make short cuts, but what about screens? In this game, I didn't really see a ton of Odunze doing any bubble screens or motioning into a quick pass or any of those predetermined types of stuff that we see from Nabors and Harrison Jr. But in this play, we do have Odunze here running a quick middle screen but he stumbles into the offensive lineman trying to get in front of the block. But although he's knocked off balance, he still gets forward and falls forward for a first down. I think that because of his ability to work across the middle, these types of routes he can excel at, but he's obviously going to need to work on the timing with the lineman for this to be a major component of this game. It's hard to know where the fault lies on that, whether the lineman should have been getting out earlier, or if Odunze was there too early, or if the pass needed to be delayed, or, it's hard to really know the nuances of sort of where the fault lies with that. But it does show some abilities to be able to work after the catch with the ball, so that is obviously a good thing. All right, to wrap this up, we're going to take a look at an example of Odunze's run blocking. Because he has a bigger frame, he really has the versatility to be a flanker on running plays. So as we started here, we can see him navigate the crowd to lock in on the linebacker and keep him engaged. I do think this is an area that obviously he probably could improve on in the NFL, but in the film, he shows himself to be a willing blocker, and his ability to move around the formation will help him find good matchups while also being able to contribute in the run game. So to wrap this up, in any other draft, Odunze might be considered the best receiver in the draft. It just so happens that this year there's so many other top-tier wide receivers. Kind of makes me think back to the draft where Johnny Manziel and Mike Evans were coming out, and the debate was who made who better. And I do wonder if Odunze might be running into this a little bit with Penix, where he's maybe not quite as top tier of a quarterback as he looked on tape because of how good of a receiver Odunze is. Odunze is a versatile wide receiver who's good at working against man-to-man and zone defenses. He can run block, and he can run both go and stop routes. He runs crossing routes really crisply and is good at setting defenders up for double moves. I do believe that Harrison Jr. and Nabors are viewed more highly by GMs than Odunze is, but I think it's such a slight difference that when he is actually in the NFL, his production may be very similar to those other players. And a lot of it depends on the fit that he gets with the team and the quarterback and the team around him, of course. But I do think that the talent gap between all of these players is not as big as we would think.